Hi. Good morning. It's Wednesday. I'm Wayne. Welcome to Wednesdays with Wayne. Brought to you by the Real Estate Business School, where you get your license and learn to use it. That's the most important part. What does learn to use it mean? Well, what it means is a real estate license is a tool. Anyone can get one. But like any other tool, you need to know how to use it. The last thing you want to do is give your 5-year-old son a chainsaw. Unless you teach him how to use it, or unless you hate him. Same thing with a real estate license. They're given out by the state by the tens of thousands every year. But they don't teach people how to use them. And most schools don't do it either because much to your chagrin and dismay, most school owners have never listed or sold a house or invested in one. So how can they teach you? We all know the experience is the best teacher. So these are nice people. I've met a few of them. Great guys. They're geeks. They're brilliant. They know how to line up ones and zeros and program real estate courses, but they don't know jack about how to sell a house. Number one rule in business, be careful who you take your advice from. You want to take advice? Go find a geek. You want to sell a house? You need the Real Estate Business School because real estate is not a career. It's a business. And if you don't treat it like a business, and run it like a business, you're going to be out of business. And stats prove me right because statistics show that 80% of the people that get into real estate fail. They get out in the first 12 months. Why? Because no one ever taught them any business skills. So we're going to do our best if you'll let us. Don't make us drag you kicking and screaming to the bank. Just follow the formula. It's easy. It's not simple, but it's easy. It's easier than most people think. So some people have a tendency to take something very, very simple, make it complicated. We take something that's sometimes complicated, make it simple, make it easy. We're the only school in Texas that has a 33-hour mentoring program, a coaching program included in your pre-licensing package. It's included in your renewal package. So when you get started, let me just ask you a question. If you're new, if you're not licensed yet, here's my question. You get your license, comes in the mail. What are you going to do? I mean, what's the first thing after the celebration, you drink the champagne, and you get your spouse, and you get the kids, and everybody celebrates. If you have those two, if you don't, go get them, because they're kind of cool to have around. You celebrate, as you should. As you should. Because getting a license is not for the faint of heart. You know, it's a memorization of formulas and a new language, and it's fairly technical. But so you need 3 types of education to be successful. To get a license, all you need is a technical education, but the marketplace doesn't care about your exam score. I've been on over 800 transactions. I didn't count them all, but calculating and looking back over the years, it's at least that or more. I've been on hundreds of listing presentations. No one has ever asked me the difference between accretion and erosion. They don't care. So no one cares about your exam score. Out of the bank, millions. Never asked me for my report card. You know what the report card is when you're an adult? It's a financial statement. your profit and loss, your P&L, your balance sheet, your cash flow statement. That's my report card. My report card looks good. That's why they give me money. That requires a business education. It also requires a financial education. So I'm doing my best to tell you something right now. Where you go to school, who teaches you, and what you learn does matter. And it does make a difference in how successful you're going to be. Real estate's a business. That's why we're a real estate business school. We're a business school for realtors. So we teach you not just how to get the license. Look, we do as good a job as anybody, better than most. Because our courses are robust, they're dynamic, they're engaging, they're entertaining, they keep your attention, and they teach you what you need to know to pass that licensing exam. Then we have a coaching program included. 33 hours. What do you do the day you get your license? What's the first thing you do? Well, first thing you do is you go design your life, because if you don't design your life, someone will be happy to do it for you. In fact, some already have, right? Do this, do that, you should, do. No. Design your life. Do not give your life to the business. Your business has three purposes. The first purpose is to give you your life. So design your life exactly the way you want it. We will show you how to have it. We designed the business. You don't need to do that. What we ask you to do is design your life. What do you want? What do you want? You heard this old saying, you got to have a why. No, you don't. You got to have a what. If you ask someone, why do you do that? They won't tell you why they do it. They'll tell you what they want. Why'd you buy that car? Well, I want something that goes fast and looks cool and is low maintenance. Oh, really? Yeah, that's what I want. Why'd you marry that guy? Well, I wanted. Why'd you marry her? Well, I wanted. Why'd you buy the house? Well, I wanted. Tell you what you want. It's not about the why. It's about the want. The question is, what do you want? What do you want? How will you get it? How will you know when you have it? That's what we teach. Results. How to get results. Rich is a choice. Getting wealthy is a choice. Being happy is a choice. You choose these things. So all we say is choose wisely. You follow the formula, you'll have everything you want. Everything you want. Look, we live in a world of abundance. There's no such thing as scarcity. It only exists in people's minds or when it's artificially created to drive up prices. It doesn't exist in the real world. We live in a world of abundance. Everything you want is out there. Everything. So that's what we teach. Real Estate Business School. Get your license, learn to use it. Technical business financial education. Today is about the learn to use it part. So today came from a request we got from one of our viewers from last week. Wayne, she says, yes, because that's my name. How do I negotiate? Oh, negotiations? I love that subject. First, if you want to be a good negotiator, you got to start with hate. Yep, I said it again. You have to start with hate. And you know what you got to hate? You got to hate this. I hate this word. I hate this word. So let me ask you this. If you believe, as I do, that we live in a world of abundance, why should anyone tell you no? When you want something, you want to get something or be something or have something, why should anyone tell you no? If we live in a world of abundance and there's plenty to go around, what's with all the no's? No. I say no to no. So this is how you get to yes. The way you get to yes is you get rid of all these. You get rid of all the no's. If you get rid of all the no's, only thing left is yes. Simple, right? All right. Now, here are some things I've learned over the years. I'm not saying I'm right, not saying I'm an expert, not the be-all, do-all, or the negotiation guru, or any of that nonsense. I'm just a regular guy like you, unless you're a woman. And I just say I'm a regular person, just like you, who wants to be, do, and have more. And I just want what I want. You know what I mean? I want what I want. So one is sheer persistence, the other is a set of skills. So these are some negotiation skills that I've learned over the years. Now, what is a negotiation and why do we need to know this? Well, if someone has something you want, how will you get it? Well, there are several ways. You could buy it. You could trade something for it. You could steal it. You could. I'm not suggesting any of these things. I'm just listing the ways. This is just a list. It's not Wayne's it's not Wayne's recommended list. It's a list. Well, it was like in the Old West. No one was around. You're out in the middle of nowhere. You could just shoot them and take it. Again, just a suggestion. But back then, you would need a gun to protect yourself, right? Because you got something someone else wants. Well, times change. Thank goodness. You don't need a gun anymore. All you need is two things: a brain and a pen. A brain and a pen. And I'm going to tell you, you need a brain, because those of you think you're bulletproof because you got a lawyer. No. The lawyer's not going to save you. You lose money on a deal because you didn't negotiate. You got taken advantage of. You didn't dot your I's and cross your T's. And you got your hide hammered to the wall because you weren't paying attention and you didn't negotiate properly. You don't go to a lawyer and get bailed out. They don't have a magic get your money back wand. That doesn't happen. No. That's no. Look, I don't know about you, but I've got some oxymorons that I made up over the years. Here's one, casual sex. There's nothing casual about sex. This might be brief sometimes, but ain't never casual. Then you've heard the old ones, right? Like military intelligence, jumbo shrimp. Here's one, security gates. There's no security in that gate. Everybody in Texas has that code. Well, here's a new one, justice system. There's no justice in the justice system. You're not going there and have your day in court. That ship has sailed. Look, I just came out of a 5-year lawsuit. This is a negotiation for you. We buy a foreclosure. The house we bought was in 2014. In 2013, the former owners, married, husband and wife, decided to rehab the property. They spent all this money. They spent too much money. They totally messed this deal. You could not have messed this thing up any more than they did. I could go on and on and on. You would be crying like a little baby when I got done. It's so sad. I think it's funny, but whatever. I have a sick sense of humor. They spent too much money. They got in a cat fight. They gave it back to the bank, and they got divorced. The wife gave the husband the house in a 2013 divorce. She was never on the note. She was never on the deed. The wife gave the husband the house in a 2013 divorce. She was never on the note. She was never on the deed. We bought the house in the fall of 2014. February of 2015, she sued me. Wrongful eviction and wrongful foreclosure. Never met her, never seen her, wouldn't recognize her. She walked in the door. This case went on for 5 years. 5 years. Settled it about a month ago. I won. I'm running checks. I'm writing checks. At the end of the day, in a final email blast to everybody from the courts, that there was going to be a final hearing, there were 22 lawyers that were CC'd on that email. So if you think your lawyer is going to wave a wand to get you out of your mess, no, don't get in the mess. So I'm going to do my best to explain to you how to stay out of trouble, how to negotiate from power and strength, and how to get rid of all the no's and get people to yes. These are some things I've learned. So number one, a brain and a pen. You got to think your way through this. You think your way into these messes, or sometimes you don't. That's why you got into it. I'll take that back. You weren't thinking, but you can think your way out of them. So either someone has something you want, or you have something someone else wants. Number one, I've been in a lot of lawsuits. If you're not doing enough, if you're not getting sued, you're not doing enough deals, because you get sideways with people all the time. All the time. We were in another lawsuit. We had a great deal with this company. It was really good. Everybody's making money. We're doing a great time. We decided to do a national expansion. We do a national expansion. I signed this contract based on performance. They don't perform. I quit paying the contract. They followed claim, and I called the attorney in Chicago. He says, let me explain something to you. We're not negotiating, okay? That's your first negotiating point right there. Are we or are we not negotiating? Because I think we're negotiating. He says we're not. I say we are. So now we're negotiating about whether or not we're negotiating. I said, okay, if you don't want to negotiate, no problem. I'll just depose you and everybody I worked with, which is 6 people, the management team and the owner, and we'll bring you all down to Austin, Texas, and you can explain to a judge why you wouldn't work with me to settle this case. And the judge is going to look over from the bench down on you and say, why wouldn't you settle this with Mr. Morgan when he offered? If you want to do that, that's fine. We'll stop negotiating, and you can just all pack your bags and kiss your wives and husbands goodbye and come to Austin. How about that? So as we're negotiating, you with me so far? Okay, don't be a wimp. So we negotiated a settlement. They finally saw that they were in default, and the thing went away. We wrote a small separation check, and they were unhappy, and I was unhappy. It was your classic lose-lose negotiation. But put it behind us. They put it behind them. We parted company, and that was it. A small loss is better than a big loss. You're not going to win every deal you get into. So, let's say scenario number 1. They have something you want, and you want to negotiate. So let's say like you have a bunch of stuff, and they have a wagon. You want the wagon. Let's say you have a beater, and they have a nice car. You want the nice car. Let's say you have a crummy condo and they have a big house. You want the big house. Let's say you got an ugly husband and they got a movie star. Yeah, I don't have to negotiate that one. That's beyond my realm. I can do the first 3. This one, you have to go find somebody else. Maybe a lawyer. Let's say they have a piece of property and you want to own it. Now you're talking my language. So the first question is there a deal here? So that's the beginning. So you go find yourself a deal. Now, you got to position yourself in the initial agreement to always protect your downside. Every problem, please write this down. Every problem begins in the initial communication. communication. Every problem you've ever had or will have begins in the initial communication. You either said something you shouldn't have said, or you more likely you didn't say something you should have said, and more importantly, you didn't get it in writing. Have you ever had someone say to you when you were in a contractual or business dispute, you said and misquoted you? How many have ever had someone say to you, but you said, and then they said the words and they misquoted you? Okay, good. Happens all the time, right? So rule number one, should be rule number one in all your business dealings. If it's important, put it in writing. I'm negotiating with a new marketing guy, great guy. We're not going to have a contract. We're going to have a written agreement. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's what you're going to do. Please write this down. If you don't give someone your expectations and get agreement, they'll be met. You can't just tell them what you want and expect it to happen, because you've done that before and it didn't work. So how about this? If you don't give someone your expectations and get agreement, they'll be met. They've got to say, yeah, I can do that. This is how I negotiate. What do you want? First thing out of my mouth, what do you want? And then I tell them what I want. If I can give you that, will you give me this? I call it the if I could, would you? Question. If I could, would you? If I could do that, would you do this? If I could do that for you, would you do this for me? If you don't give someone your expectations and get agreement, they'll be met, you're responsible for any upset you experience. You're responsible for the upset. You didn't give them expectations and they didn't say they would do it. If you didn't tell them and they didn't agree, then you don't have a right to be upset. It's your fault. Got to give people expectations. Got to give them yours. They agree, you agree. Yes, I heard you. Yes, I heard you. Great. Here it is in writing. This is my understanding of our conversation. Is this what you understand? Is this our agreement? Can we call this a deal? And just email it back and forth. I don't have to have a contract, a bunch. It depends on the complexity of the deal. A lot of my deals is, if we're done, we're done. Give me notice and go. I don't contract with my employees. If you don't like working here, go. If you don't like me, go. If I don't like you, you go. You get contracts, next thing you know, you're in court throwing money at a dead dog loser. So I do my best to get in situations where we want to be together. Like, my wife doesn't need me. She wants me. I want her. I want her to want me. But I don't want her to need me. I mean, how dysfunctional is that? Don't leave me. I need you. Yeah, get off of me. You kidding me? No. It's wanting to be together. But what will separate you are the disagreements that come from unrealized expectations. I hope this is making sense. So it's nice and simple, it's clean and easy. What do you want? This is what I want. Okay, good, this is what I want. Can you do this? Can you do that? Will you do this and that? Yeah, okay, good. Here's our agreement. Okay, great. So get it in writing, position yourself and protect your downside. For example, think of all the things that could go south. And put it in there. I'll give you an example. I had a problem with an HVAC system on the roof of my buildings, one of the buildings I owned. Anyway, there's all these package units on the top, and one went south, so I called the company that do business with us, said, can I come out and fix this? Guy comes out. And he goes up there and he spends half a day, and he comes down and it's all dusty, dirty, filthy, and breathing hard and sweaty, and he goes, okay, well look, if you had a maintenance agreement, and we came out here and changed these filters every quarter, you live right, you're right here off the freeway, there's all this dust from the cars, all this dust is circulating, you don't change the filters, you don't clean the coils, now everything's filthy, it's glommed up your system and it's shut down because it can't breathe. You should get a maintenance agreement. To which I said, I have a maintenance agreement. It's with you. So you go back and tell your boss, I want these fixed, I want them fixed this week, and I don't want to see a bill. That's how you protect your downside. Get all your agreements in writing. Number 2, never disclose your position. It's like Kenny Rogers says in his song. It's like Kenny Rogers says in the song, The Gambler. Got no when to hold 'em, got no when to fold 'em, got no walk away, got no. Never count your money when you're sitting at the table, blah, 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 blah. Never disclose. Never, never, never. An agent calls you on your listing. Why are your sellers selling? They want to move. Why are your buyers buying? Why are sellers selling? Oh, these sellers are incredible. What they do is they take these old beat up houses and they make them look brand new, so they sell at top dollar and they're ready to get on to the next one. How's that for positioning the property? So you never disclose, never disclose, never disclose. For you realtors that are listing agents, and I hope you are, you don't sell the house. Houses have never been sold. Throw away the sold signs. No realtor ever sold a house. Buyers chose them. The buyers are going to choose it. How do you keep the buyers from negotiating? Well, I was in this house 3 weeks ago. I saw it in MLS. I thought, okay, here's a deal. It's kind of near it's in an area I kind of like. It's 5,000 feet or more. It's been reduced from 3 million to 2 million. I'm like, well, they're going in the right direction. Maybe there's a deal here. So I go look at it. Well, what am I looking for when I'm buying real estate or negotiating in general? Typically, I like real estate. It's just fun. By the way, I don't negotiate everything. I don't negotiate every deal. I don't. When somebody makes me an offer and I think it's fair, I take it. So I don't go around beating everybody to a pulp. But I just want to say this. When I'm looking for real estate, what I know is that most sellers don't want to tell me anything about the property. They want to sell it for the most money, not make any concessions, and not tell me anything. Most buyers want to pay the least, get the most concessions from the seller, and find out everything. And so what I'm looking for is a seller who's here. Their need to sell is high. It's easy when you, it's easy to find out. Because what happens when the need is high? What do you want when you're negotiating? You want power, right? So when your need is high, your power is low. High need equals low power. So what I do is I want to reverse this. I want to have high power and low need. This is why you never disclose your position. So how do I find someone who's in high need with low power? Well, if you look at MLS, you can see it. What are the 3 things I look for? cumulative days on market, occupant, comments. If that thing's been on the market for 180 days or longer, it's vacant, and the seller says, desperate, motivated seller, bring all offers. I think there could be a deal there. So don't negotiate when you're in high need unless you can disclose it. If you don't disclose it, go for it. I mean, my second investment, I had like a 6-page credit report, all nines, was down $2 million, had no credit, no money. I bought a 16-unit apartment building 2 blocks from UT because I know how to negotiate. Fortunately, they didn't pull my credit report. Okay. So this house, I can see that this seller's in high need. They've come down $1 million. I'm thinking they'll move some more. They're coming in the right direction. I go look at it, sure enough, it's a mess. It's functionally obsolete. It needs repairs. It's got cooties and boogers and hair and warts all over it. It's perfect. Except it's functionally obsolete. I just can't make it work. I can't. It's just, it ain't working. So the agent calls me, what do you think about the house? I said, well, do you want me to tell you truthfully, or how long have you been in the business? How many of these have you done? She goes, this is my first listing. Oh my God, no wonder. I said, okay, I'll tell you what I would do. Have you had an inspection done? No. I said, well, go get an inspection done and fix everything. Seller doesn't want to spend any more money on it. Okay, fine, I'll quit talking. If you're gonna give me feedback about my feedback, then we're done. So do you wanna know or do you not wanna know? You wanna stay stupid? Do you wanna know how to fix this house so it'll sell? Like, I got no patience for it, and I did say that to her. She goes, no, I said, okay, fine. Go get it inspected and fix it. You got this thing up here you gotta fix. You got that thing over there you gotta fix. When they open the cabinet drawer and close it, it should function properly. That doors don't open and close. You're gonna spend $2 million for a house? And you can't open and close the cabinets because they don't function properly? I mean, what are you thinking? I mean, come on. Clean it up. There's all leaves all over the entrance. There's crap all over the driveway. There's stuff in the backyard. You got an outdoor kitchen with no kitchen. I mean, anyway, I did my best to walk her through it. She calls me back. The seller's not going to do anything. Okay, that's fine. So they're going to stay here. They'll do something eventually because they're going to have to. So what I want to find is someone who's in need who wants to sell. Okay. If you are negotiating and you're here, fake it. Don't let on. Don't disclose your position. Okay. And so next one is find something someone needs and will pay you for. For example, deal I'm in now. Found the property in MLS, been sitting there for months and months and months and months and months and months and months. Like, I don't know, over 200 days on the market. 6 acres, I put it under contract. It's in the ETJ, extraterritorial jurisdiction. It's not in the city limits. No zoning, no restrictions. I can build whatever I want. I go to the city and I said, I got this property in the ETJ and I'm going to put multifamily housing on it. It's right in the heart of Lakeway. And I'm going to put multifamily on it because the city hates multifamily. They said, well, how about houses? I said, no, I don't think so. The problem is the city, this property was landlocked and no access to water, wastewater, or utilities. So I said, I'll tell you what I'll do. If you'll give me a dedicated roadway to this main street so I can have access to the property and water and sewer, give me the zoning and the setback, I'll request annexation and bring it into the city. Can we work together and can we cooperate and get this done? And they said, yes, that's a great idea. So all these horror stories I've heard about working with the city were totally, completely false. They were very amenable to the project, and we worked together in the spirit of cooperation, And I asked them what they wanted, and they told me. And I told them what I wanted, and they said okay. And I said okay, and we got along famously, and the deal got done. Until the listing agent lied to the seller. And the listing agent lied to the seller, according to the seller. I'm not telling you the listing agent because she might be totally and completely innocent. All I have is one side of the story. So if you only have one side of the story, we don't tell the story. But here's the story. Sellers, I go to the sellers, I go, I'm coming tomorrow to do an inspection on the property. We had to do a lot of inspections. Tree, topo, environmental, all kinds of stuff. We're coming to do the environmental tomorrow. You can't come on the property. I can't come on the property. I've been coming on the property for 6 months. How come I can't come on the property? Our attorney says you can't come on the property. Attorney? You got an attorney? She said, yeah. I said, okay. Why do you have an attorney? Well, the option money is supposed to be on top of our sales price, not included, and not to be credited to you. And our agent said that your option money was in addition to the sales price. And now you're telling us the opposite. I said, well, okay, number one, I'm coming over. And number two, I'm bringing my contract. And if you look at paragraph 7, it says I have access to the property once we're under contract, which we are. So get that out. And if you need to call the police, go ahead and dial them up. And ask Sergeant Ramey, because I know him, and he'll come and talk to you. And let's sit down and talk about this. We can't talk to you. Our lawyer told us not to talk to you. I said, you know why he told you that? So we wouldn't work this out. But I think if we talk, we can work it out. Let me just say something to you. Please listen to me. We're talking right now. I think we can resolve this in 15 minutes. We're going to be talking anyway. You've got a lawyer, which means now I got to go get one. So the way we're going to talk in the future is you're going to talk to your lawyer, then your lawyer is going to talk to my lawyer, then my lawyer is going to talk to me. And I'm going to talk back to my lawyer. He's going to go back to your lawyer, then your lawyer is going to talk to you. And we're going to go round and round and round and round and round like that for several months. So why don't we just talk to each other, cut out the two middlemen, see if we can come to an agreement. Man, he said not to talk to you. I said, I'm coming over. So I'm coming over. So I hung up the phone. I went over. One of the roommates came out and said, you know you're not supposed to be here, right? I said, well, can I just show you this? See right here in paragraph 7 where it says agent has unrestricted right to access to property with notice to the seller. I noticed the seller I was coming, so actually I have a contractual right to be here. Could you go ask them to read this part of their contract and ask them if we can come out and talk for a few minutes? There'll be nothing lost in having a conversation. And if they still feel that way in the conversation, then we'll go from there. But why don't we just talk? Excuse me. So I come out, we sit in the driveway, and I pointed to the contract. I said, okay, let me explain something to you. Let me just tell you what happened. I sent you an offer to buy your property. This is how you negotiate. I sent you an offer to buy your property. Your agent rewrote it. I didn't write this document. I didn't write this contract. Your agent wrote it. I sent an offer. She rewrote it. Then she recommended you sign it, right? Yeah. And you signed it, right? Yes. Okay. Well, so your agent wrote it. She recommended you sign it, and you signed it. It says right here in paragraph 22, option money, see that little X in that box right there, will be credited to buyer at closing. Well, that's not what she said. I said, I understand, but that's between you and her. You're the seller, I'm the buyer. You want to sell, I want to buy. That's between you and your agent. So if you think I'm going to pay you $60,000, you're wrong, because I don't owe you. If I owed you $60,000, you know what I'd be doing right now? I would be negotiating with you for a smaller amount. But I'm not, because I don't know you. I know more about this property than the 6 of you put together. So it wasn't me. Now I'm going to tell you how to get paid. First of all, fire your attorney. You've got a habit of taking bad advice. You got bad advice from your listing agent, now you're getting bad advice from your lawyer. Your lawyer just wants to bill you for time. That's why he doesn't want you to talk to me. But we're going to work this out. I'm going to tell you how you get paid. I'm going to give you 3 ways. First of all, you have a commission that you owe your agent. Don't pay her. If you think you don't owe her, don't pay her. If she lied to you, as you stated, I don't know, I wasn't there, I didn't hear the conversation. But if she told you that, that's $60,000. Her share of the commission is $57,000. You're almost whole. The other way you get paid is these brokers know that their agents are going to do stupid stuff every now and then, so they make them buy insurance. It's called errors and omissions. If she erred and omitted, and it sounds like she may have erred, I don't know, I wasn't there, but if that's your case, go get it from the insurance company. And lastly, go get it from the broker. They're one of the biggest brokers in the world. They got plenty of dough. They know this is going to happen. They'll settle with you. But you can't come to me because I don't owe you money. I'm your last resort. I don't count. I'm not writing you a check. You're contractually obligated. I'm going to take you to court and I'm going to show this to the judge. The judge is going to look at this. She's going to pull down her glasses, look over her eyes at you and go, why are you in my courthouse? That's what's going to happen. So can we finish the inspection and can you go talk to your agent, your broker, and fire your attorney and go work this out? And they went and did. So sometimes you just got to sit them down and just talk it through. If you screwed that up, then you got to eat it. If you didn't, then you got to have it documented. So when I say position yourself at the beginning for any problems you might have, you got to play this game as you're getting into these contractual obligations. The game I play is what if? What if this happens? What if that happens? What if, and you put all that in there and think of and put it in there. And get covered. You got to constantly be protecting your downside. Write that down. I'm constantly protecting my downside. Anyway, we got the deal done. The city was great to work with. They're fabulous people. And we're having a great time. Next thing you can do is find something that's going to be of value in the future and buy it at today's price. For example, and going to all these meetings with this. I'm in a meeting down there. I'm almost like I should be on the payroll of the city. I'm down there so much. What I find is that the city is doing this massive expansion and is building all these new roads. So I found a piece of property that this new proposed road is going through. I found it in MLS as well. And it had been sitting there for a long time as well. So I called the owner and I said, why are you selling? He said, well, I've had a couple of heart attacks. I'm kind of done. I'm retiring. I've done this for decades. And I just don't want to mess with this anymore. It's okay, great. Here's my offer. I made him an offer. He said, okay, I'll take it. So I take it and I get it under contract and I go to the city and I go, I'd like to put multifamily here. There's no way we're putting multifamily on that property. No way, ever, no. Why? We don't want those people living here. Those people, really? You mean the ones that serve your food, clean your houses and clean your pools and cut your grass and cut your trees? You mean those people? They don't deserve to live here? Really? For sure? Is that what you're saying to me? You heard the saying, right? Everybody wants to go to heaven. Nobody wants to die. It's like the old codger on his deathbed, right? 99 years old. Lord, I know I ain't been to see you in like 98 years, but could you do a brother a favor? And can you just let one more in? I was good most of my life. Oh my God. Everybody wants a house. Nobody wants anything developed. Same story. So all these people already live there, they got their house. That's it, no more. Close the gate. Anyway, time went by and it was interesting because there aren't enough residents to support the retail. So I just hung on to the deal. I kept buying more time from the seller. So in my contract, I wrote I could extend with a fee. So I had all these extensions built into it. So if I ran over, and I knew I was going to run over, because if you ask for this long time period up front, they're going to go, nah, it's not going to take it that long. But if you ask a short time and the right to extend, then you get into this relationship. It gives me time to build the relationship with the seller. So I asked for this amount of time, there's a fee. So I run through the first time, which is 90 days. Then I write a fee to extend. To run through that, write a fee to extend. Meanwhile, I'm talking. Next thing you know, I need like another 4 months. So I go to the end of the agreement. I'm about a month away, and I go, I'd like to buy another 4 months. Can we meet and talk? Of course. So we meet, we talk. He sees me, I see him, I explain. He agrees. He's a developer. He gets it. He gives me 4 more months. I pay another fee. So at the end of the day, if you can just get with the other principal and build a relationship, and not beat the crap out of them in these negotiations. I see some of these negotiators, they just bleed it. There's no need to do that. If the upside's there, what do you care? It's an old saying, if you want to get what you want, you got to give somebody else what they want. So now we're working along. I go back to the city, and guess what? Now they want multifamily. I'm like, what? Yeah, we want multifamily now. We've realized we need more residents. What? You're gonna let those people come in? He goes, yeah, we want the residents back in the city. So you'll give me my 55 feet height? Yeah. You give me the zoning I need? Yeah. You can, really? Yeah. No problem. Really? Wayne, we'll do it. Okay. So sometimes you get lucky, and the pendulum of fate just swings in your direction. So I said, okay, this road's going through there. What happens here? It says, you got to give us a 70-foot right of way. Okay, no problem. Will you give me the zoning and the height? Yeah, no problem. Great. So now we both want the same thing. We want this property developed. We want this road through there for access, and everybody wins. Okay, that's it. If you do all that and nothing works, there's one last thing you can do. So just to recap before I go into this. First, is there a deal here? Then remember that you position yourself in the initial agreement. Every problem begins in the initial agreement. Make sure you write as ironclad agreement as you can make it. Never negotiate if you're in high need because your power is low. What you want is high power, low need. If your need is high and you have to sell or have to buy, don't disclose your position. And then position it. You don't have to sell it, just position it. You got these homes, do the repairs. Trick it out, clean it up, landscape it, decorate it, stage it, paint it, get the clutter out. Find your good listing agent that knows what the hell they're doing and follow their advice. Become that agent and give them that advice. And position these things. Homes aren't sold. They're chosen by buyers based on comparison of that property to other properties. Just make it stand out. You get all this done, you trick it out, you get rid of all the no's. You got a great price. They walk in and they go, holy mackerel. Based on everything we've seen, look at this house. Look at this price. I can't believe it hadn't sold. Are you kidding me right now? Their negotiating power is gone. And you're going to get to settle the price. You get a quick closing. You get a motivated buyer. And you'd rather have a motivated buyer than a motivated seller all day long. If all that works and doesn't happen, walk away. Don't be afraid to walk away. And I'll give you an example of that. I'm getting my books on Amazon. So we've written 25 or so real estate books. Some are textbooks, The Principles 1 and 2 are what I call great cures for insomnia. If you try to read those, make sure you have a rag or something under your desk so when you wake up, you don't drool all over something valuable. They're dry. That's why we have videos of live classes, animations, questions, interaction, Kahoot replays, reviews. Everything we can do to make that material come alive and be relevant and robust and entertaining and engaging. But a textbook's a textbook, right? Anyway, we've got 25 that I think should be on Amazon. So we get old Amazon, we get our deal cut, and they go, okay, it's $150 a book, and here's a royalty split. And I go, okay, fine. Send me the deal. So he sends me the deal, and they want the payment up front. I'm like, you know what? I think that's a little risky. Good, 25 books, $150 a book. It's not a deal killer, but what if they don't sell? So I thought, how about if I just do 3 books? So I'll do Principles 1, Principles 2, and my favorite book of all time is a great book. I got one right here. This book is called How to Get Rich in Real Estate and Have a Life. Now, most agents you talk to who are uneducated think these are mutually exclusive principles. They are not. I'm living proof. You can get rich in real estate and have a life. Did I read the book? If you want a copy of this, email me. We'll send it to you. If you want it signed, put a little extra spiff in there for the postage, and we'll shoot you a copy. But this is it. So we're going to put this in Principles 1 and Principles 2, keep my risk nice and low, write a few shekels of a check, and off we go. The guy says, well, the price for those books is $300 a piece. I quoted you the wholesale price because you said you're going to put 25 books on here. And I wrote back, you never said wholesale price. You never said only if we do, this price is only good if you do 25 books. There was never a quantity of books listed. You never suggested that. You never wrote that. You never stated that. That's never been brought up before. You said $150 a book. Here's your quote, and I pasted and copied it. And this is what we expect. So you know what? I don't like the way this is going. Just forget the whole thing. I'm not going to do it now. And I walked away. Within 2 hours, he came back. Okay, we'll do it. I think you're a good long-term customer, and we want to do business with you. So there. Don't be afraid to walk away. I don't recommend it, but if you really don't care, walk away. Okay, that's it. Those are my negotiation strategies. Never disclose your position. Get everything in writing. Don't negotiate when you're in high need. Find someone in high need. Ask them why they're selling. Negotiate, negotiate, negotiate. Don't be afraid to walk away. When in doubt and things go south, communicate. Sit down, get face to face with them. We were face to face. I'm out there in the driveway with 6 folding chairs talking to these people, explaining to them why I think my point of view is valid. I took my backup documentation. I spoke respectfully and courteously. I didn't beat him about the head and shoulders with it. I just said, look, you don't have a case. The judge isn't going to like this. Its facts are on my side. I didn't do anything wrong. I don't know why you're coming after me. I'm not the bad guy. I'm your buyer. I hope that helps. And just keep looking for opportunities. They're everywhere. I mean, if you can't get rich here, don't leave. There's nowhere else to go. Okay, that's it. We have a new sponsor. Not only the Real Estate Business School, where you get your license and learn to use it, we have a new sponsor, Wealth Realty Investment and Development. This is a fund that raises funds for investing into real estate. So if you've got capital and you think about putting in the Austin area, let us know. We'll send you a pro forma on one of the deals we're working on now. If you're looking to put equity into real estate, then we got some places you can put it. That's it. This is Wayne Morgan with the Real Estate Business School and Wealth Realty Investment and Development LLC, where you get your license, learn to use it, and you turn your equity into wealth. See you next Wednesday. This has been Wednesdays with Wayne. See you next Wednesday at 9 a.m. Let's go out and make it a better world. And remember, you were born a genius and meant to be an incredible success. See you next week.